Hello everyone, welcome to your reading today. So this is an exciting one. This is like a nice fun one. This is what 3 blessings or predictions are coming through to you in December. So really nice one to come through for a reading today. All right, so we're going to pick 3 piles. This is the Spirit Warrior cards. So I'm just going to see what comes through for each pile. I've already picked the stones for each pile. Okay. And one more. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at which cards these are. So for pile number 1, this one is the Ashwagandha. This is like a herb, I believe. It says here, reset, rejuvenate, be strong. The message on the back of the card is embrace your sexual self. So here is your card. Also, to help with your pile picking today, you have the Lapis Lazuli. This is a raw piece of Lapis Lazuli. Okay. For pile number 2, you have Maitri. This says, open yourself to others. And on the front, it says, kindness echoes into the soul of the universe. You also have this stone here. This is a Rhodonite point. Not sure if it's going to really show up, but it's like a peachy pink color. There you go. And for part number 3, you have karma. This is value your choices. And it also says here, I am grateful for every experience in my life. Sorry, it's a bit hard to read dark blue on blue. So I am grateful for every experience in my life. You also have the orange calcite. This is a raw piece of orange calcite. Okay, so I'm going to let you pick. Remember, this is 3 blessings, so they will be like, I'll cycle through them a little bit quicker and I'll try to put the timestamps on each if I remember. But you can jump straight to your pile. There'll be the 3 piles will be separated and timestamps down below in the description, and you can jump straight to your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading today. So you've chosen the Ashwagandha. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. If not, apologies. And also the Lapis Lazuli. Honestly, this feels, even though this one was talking about embrace your sexual self, this does feel very spiritual in a sense. It may be an internal job that helps with the external. We'll see which blessings are coming through. We're going to start off with this pile first. So I'm just going to pop these up here. We'll see what blessings are coming through. So this is going to be the first one. I'm going to use this deck. This is the Sacred Destiny. Just to find out your blessings. Okay. Okay. All right, so we've got these 2 cards. Just going to grab a few of these just so we've got a clear picture. Today I feel like the oracles are going to be the overview picture of your reading, and the tarot are going to break it down a little bit or get to the details. Or maybe just like an extra layer. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at your cards. Sorry about the shine. Should I put that there? There we go. It's going to be like this. Alright, so you've got stillness with the swan here. Feels like protection, like being protected. We'll see what else comes through. Abundance. Okay, great. So it looks like the first blessing may actually come later in the month or be like over time. Does this make sense? Potentially there's something here with slowing down to actually appreciate what you have, an opportunity to have some space to yourself. I think the reason why I was feeling like this is drawn to the end of the month is actually because potentially the end of the month may be more busier for you. For some people watching the start of the month may be more busier for you. So at some point you're going to have that opportunity to have a break, because while it's lovely catching up with people, doing work, whatever, you enjoy doing, work probably isn't it, but like hobbies, that kind of thing. It's also nice to just have nothing specifically planned for a moment in time, some time to just relax or decongest from the energy, because it's always a busy month, no matter where you are in the world, I feel. And abundance really, really showing that this is going to be a great time, or good energies coming through for this month. So really nice. First blessing looking really good. You also have the Knight of Cups. Okay. You also have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, nice. The Help Fund is kind of interesting. It's just a funny little thing. It really does show that giving, the gift of giving, is really coming here. And we are coming into, like, of course, the holiday period. So that is not surprising at all. You also have the Three of Pentacles. And you have the Hanged Man. So interesting. The first card coming through is Stillness, and the Hanged Man coming through at the end. Like I said, there was some kind of spiritual aspect in here. I feel like the spiritual aspect is the aspect of not having to do anything to search for anything spiritual. It's just sitting in your own energy, in your own flow this coming month. Now, because it's kind of like separated and then pointed in, there is kind of, I can't shake it off, but there's kind of like an aspect of some of you catching up with the people that mean a lot to you, that you love. You could take that as like new people, or it could be just like family, friends, that kind of thing. There's like a blessing of being able to be with people here and also alone. So there's like, you're going to have your time and your space alone, but also see the blessing in that. But also on the flip side, sometimes if you're more extroverted, you want to be around people. If you're more introverted, you want to be away. You're going to have both. You're going to have both opportunities to recharge your energy and also be around the people that you care about. And that's the first blessing that's really coming through, because the abundance feels like a lot of, not a lot of things going on, but more like a lot of energy, or like energy pointed towards a particular event or something coming up in the month of December, which again, because it's holidays, there's going to be more people around, that kind of thing. Even shopping, that kind of stuff could be, can be a little hectic, but it's showing that it feels like it'll flow quite nicely. These feel really balanced. The Three of Pentacles, not having to do too much for yourself, or putting so much pressure on yourself, but a mix, I guess, is the best way of saying it, of like, you're going to have your busy periods, but you're also going to be gifted the time to yourself. And if you've had a lot of time to yourself and you're excited about going to people or meeting, getting in front of family and that kind of thing, there's always going to be like, a little bit of worries and that kind of thing of what could happen. We're human, we're always going to think like that, but it feels like it's going to go fine, it's going to be good, you're going to have your own space. Also, you might have interesting conversations. This is feeling like interesting conversations. It's almost like going into, instead of focusing on, like going into a family holiday gathering and worrying about, oh, these people usually fight, this kind of fights. Going in with the blank slate and just going, I'm just going to enjoy myself, right? Oh, I'm just going to see what happens, whatever happens. I decide how much energy I put into like getting involved or not, right? because sometimes people just need to fight things out or like have their say and then move on instead of everyone getting involved. Be better if they didn't, right? But we can't control what people are going to do. So actually going into it just without a worry of something happening, and then having like really good conversations around whatever other things are going on, because they're probably not going to involve you. You may just be there on the sidelines, or they might try to drag you into it. Just say no. That's how this is, like the embracing sexual self. Not exactly sexual self, but embracing your voice and being like, no, I'm not going to get involved in that. The lapis lazuli with the blueness and the hair with the blue is like, just be very clear and concise. Don't just go along with things and then get annoyed with it. Just say what you mean. Say the level of commitment or energy you want to put into a particular event, especially when it's gatherings of people that you care about, right? And that kind of thing. Just say what you need to say. That's it. But I don't think you have to go in with like a game plan. You just go in with like flow and just be like, okay, well, if that's that, well, this is how much I'm going to do or whatever. Be very clear. It does look good. Honestly, I know it's like I'm talking it to like nitty gritty, but it feels like this is the time for giving, resting. Like it's that you're going to have the good times to rest and the good times to like enjoy the abundance, enjoy the good stuff, enjoy the busyness as well. Because while we can say, oh, I hate busy or I hate all that, sometimes when we're in it, it's like a lot of fun energy, right? We can be in the same situation and see things as like too hectic, or be in the same situation and see it as like, okay, it's as nice that people like, you know, the kids are playing, or the parents are like, you know, helping, cooking, whatever, you know, that kind of thing. It's just nice to be around some people, but we can be in the same situation and see it differently. The blessing here is giving yourself the space to actually see the good things that are around. So that's what I see in your first blessing. So I'm just going to clear this, cut the video for a bit, and then I'll come back with the next blessing. Hello again. So this is your second blessing, Power One. So we'll just get your cards. Okay. I'm going to take this one as well. All right, so this deck here, oops, wonky, sorry. This deck here is the Sacred Forest, and the tarot is the Real Talk Tarot. A kind of more updated version of the cards compared to the Rider-Waite-Smith. This one really wants to come through. I'm going to take this one and one more. Okay, these ones wanted to pop up. Well, that's right. I didn't learn. So I'm going to grab a Starlight card as well for your second blessing. Okay. All right, so you have Focus with the Wizard of the Woods. You have Aspen Spirit with Courage. Focus and Courage, nice. They really want you to be like here with the Be Strong on the card. They really, like when I say they, the spirit or like energy that I'm getting is really honing in on you either speaking up or just standing your ground, like not in a toxic way, in more of like being very clear with your intentions, right? If you say, oh yeah, I guess I can do this, and people keep like using it, eventually, you know, we can only look at ourselves to be like, oh, well, I didn't really want to do that, but I did say I'll do it. You know what I mean? Just say you don't want to do it, or you can't do it, or you're busy or something like that. Just be clear. That's how the cards are coming through. Hopefully that's not too harsh. We've got the Nine of Swords as well. This is where the focus. I think I did that in the last one. It's about, and I think this is why it's rolling in from the last one, which the blessing was really about having the busy time and the quiet time. You're going to have a good balance in that regard. The Nine of Swords is maybe thoughts and feelings, but I'll keep going. The Knight of Cups coming back again. This is interesting. It's like very sweet person kind of energy with the Knight of Cups. someone who just wants life to be peaceful and fun. We also got the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like, again, this is coming through with like committing to what you say you will do. And if you decide not to do it, right, instead of just leaving it, just say you can't be there. That way other people can organize things, or do something different, right? And that way there's no fights or arguments about being like, well, you just didn't show up, or something like that. Or if it's vice versa and you're like, you wanted someone to come but they were unsure, ask them again, are they sure they can come? Because if you can't, you can reorganize something else. That might prompt them to be like, oh, no, of course I can be there. Or then they can say, we can't control what other people are going to do in life, but we can always check in and just see and make sure. Right, and also the Tower card. Yeah, I feel like this is an avoidance or a worry. There's like this wanting to do something and very clear, and these two knights, and this knight being more of the practical one. He is a focused knight as well, because he feels like he has responsibility to do things, right? He's responsible for his army, I guess you could say. Very different to what this is generally showing in the picture, because you can see here it says, meet me at 2, I have good news. So that's always a nice thing too. I would say that because this is the tower and it's a blessing and they're playing Jenga, it's almost like there will be fun times. Like, it's a game, right? It's a game. It's a game about a literal building, or like a block tower falling over, and whoever loses, or whatever, that kind of thing. But it does kind of feel like still fun times with like being able to redirect the energy from worry about something not working out or certain things not playing out as you expected. Things never play out as we expected perfectly to the T, right? And if they do, then fantastic, they do. But worrying about it doesn't change the fact whether things work out exactly how we want or not. Having an idea of how you want the main things to go is great, and trying to steer people or life towards that, absolutely go for that. However, the way things always work out is the way they work out. We can never be fully in control of external things, especially when it comes to people, weather, that kind of thing, right? So we can worry about those things, or we could just let them play out and then respond appropriately to them when they pop up, however that is. Just going to see what this was. Yeah, limitless, know your worth. This is what I was talking about before with speaking up, being true, being honest, just saying what you mean. Very clear coming through with your reading, pile number 1. I do like the focus on what you can focus on. Okay, what am I trying to say? Focus on the things that are not just important, but that you have sway, control, whatever over. We have control over how we react, but we don't have control over how another person reacts. You know what I mean? It's like very that. So make sure your focus is not on the things that you worry about. It's on the things that you can accomplish, plan, and like do. Because then it feels like you'll see the blessings that come through. You'll actually see more than what this reading is going to touch on. There's many blessings in your reading today. That's why when I was doing this, I was like, oh, okay, blessing reading. And I was like, yeah, next month. I was like, okay, predictions. And they're like, yeah, kind of. But it's more like, these are the things that could happen. And you could focus on the negative of it. Like, when I was talking about in your last blessing about being at a party and just focusing on the ones people fighting, or just also seeing like people gathering and having food and enjoying, and kids playing and that kind of thing. Same event, 2 different perspectives, 2 different focuses. So there's like an idea of where you put your mind and your focus, but also making sure you're getting a very clear point across with love. I will say, with love. We can say things that are very like our opinion, and it can come across not so great, right? And we may mean it, we may not mean it, may get caught up in emotions. But this is really being like taking care of business in a sense in our heads and how of like what we need to say and what we're going to do and being clear with that. And then going forward, I feel like things start to feel more cruisy because this knight is coming through again with the skateboard and he's just kind of cruising, right? He's just enjoying whatever comes up. And he's not worried about, he's not scared of going into like, you know, going around a corner and bumping into someone or something like that, or traffic. He's not stuck in here at home thinking, oh gosh, what if this happens? What if this happens? He's just going with the flow, or she, whoever, is going with the flow, and whatever pops up, they can respond to, right? You don't want to get into your car thinking about everything that could go wrong. Otherwise you wouldn't drive, wouldn't leave the house. That kind of thing. This does feel like a mix of literally where you put your energy and focus and making sure you're saying and planning and doing as much as you can to ensure there's like things go smoothly. But remember, you can only ask someone to help. It's up to them to actually do the helping. Very interesting one, but this limitless, know your worth and be strong, really coming through here. I feel like you'll have an opportunity, or like the blessing is an opportunity to flex that muscle, and the tower does feel more playful than an actual tower moment, right? But in our minds, sometimes things are tower moments, and in reality, or with what's happening around us, they're not actually tower moments, or they I would say it like this: they are tower moments to us because we feel the tower moment, but with other people and what's happening around, they may not feel like that. And that could be because they're not understanding or something like that, or maybe we've built up too much stress on something that one little move out kind of flips that switch, and we have a whole bunch of energy just released at once, and so we can feel like it's huge, right? When really it was just like a whole bunch of small things. So if you're very clear with the people, with yourself and the expectations and anything like that, then at least you've spoken up and made that heard. So an interesting blessing to come out. I don't know how that's going to play out in next month, but probably with people, probably with self as well, and how we feel internally. The last one felt like very much with people. This one feels like a mix of internal, external. Okay, interesting. So I'll clear these again and we'll get into your last blessing, pile one. Welcome back again, pile number one. All right, let's take a look at your last blessing, the third blessing. Definitely not the last blessing in life. However, the third blessing in this reading. All right, so this is for December. I was going to say September. Okay. It's like a card in here, this one. All right. Boop and boop. Oh yeah. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at your cards. Interesting. So you've got bear with protection. Excuse me, my throat. Okay, sorry about that. Just gonna have a drink of water. Sometimes with when my throat goes a little bit, it's about speaking up, and like with that last card with Know Your Worth, that little card down here in the last section of your reading, it's definitely touching on that again too. Oh yeah, okay. Renewal. This energy was coming through a little bit before. I'm not sure of your relationship, like romantic relationship status, but if you are single, there may be, I mean, obviously not with like meeting family, but just like next month there might be this kind of like idea of stepping out and I guess it's self-appreciation. It feels like this is where this card is shining through. Ashwagandha, just if you don't know, Ashwa in Sanskrit means horse and Gandha means smell. So it doesn't really sound lovely, right? But I feel like besides the aspect of like working with spiritual things, magic, that kind of stuff, and the how they reference the herb, they also talk about spicing up sex life, tantric spells and rituals and that kind of thing. So it does feel like feeling confident and comfortable with who you are in your skin and potentially attracting someone or starting to go on that journey of a relationship, a partnership, finding a partner. If that's what you're interested in. If not, or if you're already in a relationship, it may be just starting to appreciate yourself or even spicing up life in the bedroom. Look, that's just how it's coming through. I don't want to make it awkward, but it's just how it's coming through. Because we've got the Phoenix with renewal, so this feels really, really good. This could be probably your card of the month, I feel, with many different things. You might start like with the first blessing of mixing with people. There's some kind of renewal and refresh of how you see things in your family or with people in your life in general. And then another, what was the other thing that popped up? Why did I blank out? But yeah. Your where you put your energy and focus. This could be a really good catalyst for next year. But you're starting a month early, so this is really, really cool. Oh, I like it. Okay, cool. Yeah, here we go. Queen of Cups. The Moon. You've got the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. And also the Chariot, yeah. Look, I didn't even know what was coming out. But these are great cards to come through. I feel like there's an opportunity to reflect. Like, this is really reflecting. You know, people... or the old kind of school card of talking about fears and that kind of thing. But look what's happening here. She's not fearful. She is reflective. She's sitting on the roof to get closer to, you know, the heavens or the sky or the cosmos. She's got support from her like furry friends, right? There's one on alert and one's just chilling. Not really alert, but you know, just sitting comfortably, and she is looking and reflecting on many different aspects. I feel like she is kind of touching on her own inner world, like her own kind of worries and fears, anxieties, that kind of thing. I don't feel like she's sitting and just reliving them or processing them, cycling with them, just understanding why they're there, where they come from, what's this all about, and also what's next. You know, what's going to fill my cup as the Queen of Cups. That giving person, how am I going to give back to myself as well? This is a good time. I feel like with the bear being protective, also hibernating. I feel like for some it's like coming out of hibernating, and for some it's like feeling protected the entire month, or feeling like you can step out of your comfort zone, but it's that you're actually still protected. You know what I mean? Like going on a spontaneous trip or something, being like, oh, that's definitely out of my comfort zone. But while doing it, like if you choose to do that kind of trip, that exciting thing with some people, that little quick holiday, whatever that is, you're protected in there. Like it's almost like pre-planned, but to you it's like surprising. So very cool. With these two, it's kind of interesting with the Chariot and the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like there's an aspect of speaking up in regards to your work and processes, and also like your specialties. This may come through with work, I'm not too sure, but even these times, I think it's really just saying things will go smoothly with like work, with travel, with your plans that you have set out. So sometimes that's the best blessing, right? It's not this like amazing windfall or something like that. Like that would be great, but just life running smoothly. I think the other things will be taken care of, so you don't have to set your focus on them. You have to process and do them, right? You have to go to work and do whatever, or if you're on holiday coming up, then great, you're going to have that time. It looks like everything will run smoothly. This feels like travel. Your travel plans will go smoothly. If you don't think you're traveling, there might be something that pops up, but you have an opportunity to take it. your whole point of your reading was about using your voice, and you decide what that looks like. But also, especially if you're in the southern hemisphere, probably not if you're in the northern, because it's a little bit more colder up there coming into winter. There's an opportunity to relax, I feel, look after yourself, because you'll still radiate that good energy. You don't have to focus on it to radiate it. You just can be like, it's almost like if you're playing a video game, it's a passive ability, right? You passively send out good vibes, so that's coming through. But it looks like there's going to be a few shifts and opportunities. This renewal feels like something that's finished, or that didn't go well, or throughout the year, it's almost seeing like those as opportunities to grow. It's like, okay, this connection or this friendship kind of ended. What do I want is from a new connection, new friendship, whatever, those kind of things. A lot of reflecting and thinking about the year, I feel. That's why it's like you're already in the process of finalizing your year, so to speak, instead of waiting for January to tell you that, okay, now it's the new year. You're like, no, my new year's now. I'm going to reflect on all this and start it now. So it makes sense. It's really nice anyway. Very good. So I don't know what you would call that blessing. The blessing of being blessed. I don't know. The blessing of processing your stuff and understanding who you are and everything really early. This does feel like a new year kind of read right now with this last blessing. And it's very cool. Take care of yourself and your energy as well, I would say, with these two. It does feel good because this is like a person who's very giving, right? Super giving. And the protection is like not focusing on protection, but just feeling protected and feeling like you are guided and supported by your guides, because you are anyway. But sometimes it's hard for us to feel and see that. I mean, even as a reader, I can understand that as well. So yeah, this renewal with the rejuvenate reset, very, very strong here. It's very much a theme of your reading today. So really nice cards. Hopefully that helps you with the blessings that you've had. These are really, really interesting ones. Very interesting month coming ahead, right? Don't sweat the small stuff is kind of like how it's feeling. Just remember to be in gratitude for like what you can give and what you can receive. It's almost like even just buying food from the grocery store is like a blessing, right? We don't have to, it's not the old days where we have to go freaking hunt or gather and that kind of thing. There's a lot of blessings around us. We just sometimes focus on certain things and forget about some of the small stuff or the little things that make the day worthwhile. So anyway, thank you very much for letting me read for you, pile number 1, and I'll see you in your next reading. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so you have chosen, what was that? Maitri. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. This says open yourself to others, with the message down here, kindness echoes into the soul of the universe. So really lovely, soft kind of energy coming through. Actually, I'm going to move that there. And also this is the Rhodonite in a little point. Okay. So let's take a look at your first blessing. I'm going to take these two, I think, yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you. I think you. Oh, there's a lot there. Okay, so I didn't plan for this many cards to pop out. All right, so let's go here. Just gonna pop these here. The light's a little glary. Okay, no, that works. Okay, there we go. Never mind. And one more card, please. Okay, let's take a look at your cards today. So this is your first blessing. You've got success, always nice. And you have standstill. Interesting. Standstill and success. These are very different. It doesn't feel bad though if you're standing in success, right? If you're in a good, like, it's almost like a completion. That's how it really feels. It's like the end kind of something, and it's like, good, this has come to a complete standstill or a complete end, right? Complete end. So you've got the Six of Cups. You also have the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Swords. You've got the Chariot. And you also have the King of Wands. Okay, interesting. The message here is love to the moon and back. Interesting. Oh, okay. It does feel like an opportunity to process something. The blessing is like the time to really reflect on what is this? I'm just trying to see or feel what comes through. It is pertaining to your heart, so I'm not sure if that's love necessarily, like relationship or friendship or family, either or both or and or whatever. It does feel like reigniting with this wand, King of Wand, coming through your passion in regards to it's either your passion of love of life or it's your passion of love in others that you see in the world. So the success feels like the end of the standstill or the end of something that was kind of not feeling correct or not feeling good to hold on to, right? It's like the relationship or the job or the friendship or something that is finally cleared out. So this is the opportunity to move beyond that. It's like something ended so something could begin, let's just say. There is still a lot of thoughts and feelings here, and that's where I think there's an opportunity to process some of this. I'm not too sure what that is exactly. Because it's a collective kind of reading, I'm going to talk to it from many different points and just take what resonates. But it's definitely something that you were tending to, let's say, or putting your effort into that may have either not worked out or at least came to like an end, and now it's time for the new beginning. And that's where the Chariot comes through. It's like, okay, at least things are now out of the standstill and we're starting to move because I've started to process some of these old feelings and thoughts. So it does look like the work that you've either done this month or, you know, rolling on to the next month, you'll start to see the benefit and you'll start to see yourself in a higher light, I feel. Start to love life again. I'm not too sure. Love to the moon and back. It does feel like the blessing is feeling, I don't know if it's feeling loved or if it's feeling like blessed. Like it's literally the blessing's feeling blessed in life in some sense. Maybe not everything we go through, right? Because everything we go through is never perfect or like all bad. It's never black and white, right? It's not all terrible. It's not all perfect or great. It has many different highs and lows, and that's life. So I feel like this blessing may be coming through just at the very start of your reading to show an end of something, a process of something, and seeing the benefits of actually working through some of the stuff you did this year. Really, really interesting. It's like, just with this popping through, it's kind of like you have an opportunity to either take it or leave it, I feel. But if you're contemplating, like if something doesn't feel right or anything like that, then I think that's already a sign that it's like worth looking into and seeing if it is worth doing that. And that's kind of feeling like work or a person or rethinking about an old connection that people aren't talking to you, or, you know, those kind of things. There might be an opportunity to end that, because this success comes from challenge, right? No one's successful by just sitting there. They're usually successful by learning, teaching, growing, creating, opening a business, you know, that kind of thing. That's where the success comes from. It's actually the action. I feel like that's what you've done to get at least yourself across the line, and how other people move is up to them. So it's interesting. I feel like you'll be seeing your spark again, because even though he's the King of Wands, he's still like contemplative, right? It's like he's been searching for something and he's always had it within him anyway. The spark never left. He just didn't know where to find it within himself. So really interesting. I don't know what you would call that particular blessing. I just want to see what the rhodonite. Yeah, it even says here rhodonite is a stone of compassion and balance that clears away emotional wounds and scars from the past that nurtures love. So yeah, this is a huge thing of either self-love, self-care, that kind of thing, working on that, but seeing the benefits of that. So coming out of a standstill for sure. For sure. But it feels like it starts with you first, and then whatever rolls on from that, we'll see. We'll have a look at the next two blessings as well. But yeah, really interesting one popping through first because it feels kind of like it's been heavy. But the cards aren't going to say everything will just clear away. They're talking to like appreciating all the work you've done as well in this process and how it's been challenging. But yeah, definitely starting to see love of self, seeing the fire within you, and potentially we'll see if anything comes out in regards to connections and love relationships. But anywho, that's what I see for your first one. So I'm going to clear this and then get back to you on your next blessing. Okay, welcome back. So this is going to be your second blessing, pile 2. So 2, 2. Okay. That was interesting. Felt like it was going to pop out and it didn't. Okay, there we go. Second blessing, please. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. So you've got new beginnings. Yes, this is what I was thinking. They were definitely trying to, acknowledge the past and thoughts and feelings of the year. And look, we're starting with something new and fresh. This is very nice. You also have family. Okay, interesting. So I was thinking of like connections, relationships, and it's interesting families coming through because obviously we're coming into a holiday period, right? So there might be thoughts around family. Remember, family is what you make of it. This new beginning could be your soul family. It could be your chosen family as well. Remember, the cards might say something, but their meaning is very expanded depending on your own personal situation in life. Okay. So you've got the 7 of Swords coming back again. And the 6 of Cups. Interesting. These were shuffled very well. So you've got Temperance. And the King of Swords. Another King at the end. So interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that these two pop out again. What do I want to say about this? It's interesting because I don't know if these are people or if it's like this 3. It's like thoughts on what was done to you that wasn't correct or right or anything like that. Also, I feel like you don't have to bypass any of this. You don't have to ignore how you're feeling. Just feel how you feel. The conversation is with self first, right? Connect to those people, especially with these cards. The blessing, I know we're talking about a blessing, but I'm going to talk anyway about just what I need to say. The Temperance and the King of Swords coming through, it's like there's an opportunity to co-create with this energy. I don't know if this is like a family figure or someone in family, but there's definitely a new way of having a conversation or having a relationship with this person. Maybe it's lesser than what you had before. Like let's say you had a really good relationship growing up and then 18 and then things kind of deteriorated and then here you are now. I don't feel like it's going to be as it was when you were like a child, but it's definitely going to be better than what you've been experiencing. So yeah, interesting. This could be family, it could be a friend, could be a partner or an ex or something like that. Now, when I say if it's like an ex, this is just a side note. If it's like an ex and you can't have conversations with them, that's okay. This is you understanding and breaking apart certain cords that were maybe it's still attached that you wanted. Like sometimes we don't get resolution, right? We don't get given resolution. Sometimes we'll get resolution and it won't be enough because it's not about them giving us something, it's about us releasing something. It's about us deciding what we're going to hold on to and what we're not. So really interesting with these two coming through, and I think that's why the sword's coming out. It's to kind of cut away some of that old stuff and not ignore it. So that's coming through. Now that could be, like I said, partner, relationship, friendship, cousins, whatever. Work colleagues, whatever. It's very much open. But this new beginning is definitely feeling good in the sense of refreshing from the past or the year that's been, refreshing from the year that's been. This doesn't feel too much like, now that I look at it, like here, when I think of it from here, it's like the past with people or family or like our close ones. But just alone, it feels like starting to take care of your needs and not saying you're talking, not talk the talk, not just going, yeah, I'm taking care of my needs, I don't need blah, 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 and, you know, going off. But your whole energy is focused on these other people. But you're saying something that's, you know, I'm taking care of myself. Take care of yourself then. Don't just talk about it, do it. Make sure you take care of yourself. So your blessing, I guess, I know it sounds really pointed, but your blessing is really starting to clear a lot of that energy out of your way, because it's like open yourself to others is making sure that you're not going to close yourself down to people just because the past, like an ex was horrible or a parent was horrible. That doesn't mean you can't have good friendships, good relationships, right? Just you know, if we go, well, I can't have this because this happened to me or these things happened to me, right? Fair enough, but we can process it and we can get to a point where we can open ourselves back up. We don't know what that looks like all the time in every place, but I feel like this is your opportunity to start letting that grow. And it's really pretty with the daffodils. I don't know why, I just really like daffodils. I actually have a little pendant here. This was from Daffodil Day and in Australia and New Zealand. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but this is a symbol for Cancer Foundation. So what is it, collecting, like we sell stuff like daffodil flowers and pins and stuff like that to raise money. It's just once a year. It's just like a little thing. But it's nice that that's coming up. It's kind of like a refresh from a challenging past, whether it's like through conversations, you know, challenges with like abuse and things like that, but also even just loss and grief as well. Yeah, I don't know who this is. Doesn't feel like you. The other king that came out, the wands, kind of felt like an aspect of you. This doesn't feel like necessarily you. But there's definitely something with the temperance, and temperance is about merging together kind of two energies and understanding. However you do that is your choice. You decide what that looks like for you, regardless of what this other person wants. So if this is cutting off, it's like not cutting off, but like, you know, lesser interactions, then it's lesser interactions. If it's more interactions, but in like a way that feels confidence boosting and fair, then go with that. What else do they want to say? I just want to see what this is. It says here, the term Maitri can be translated from Sanskrit to mean friendliness and loving kindness. Okay, so this is obviously a very caring soul that's had some challenges, right? Like I'm talking about you. Caring soul that's gone through many different challenges that can turn us, like us meaning like anyone that's getting this reading, us into like focusing more on the negative, right? So when obviously we don't want to go down that road. So it's definitely an opportunity to refresh some of those feelings and connections. So really nice blessing. I mean, it's from challenge, right? But it's coming through with like the whole purpose of like releasing some of that old stuff. The song playing is also saying since you've been gone, so sorry if there is a loss in the family or in this year. There was some wild energies happening around September, and I think I said September at one point. I can't remember. At one reading, there's a lot of stuff happening in September. So hopefully that is, I mean, we never just move on, right? But we can still live our lives without it impacting us. So I feel like they may be coming through in a sense to just say, you know, we're still here regardless. And I firmly believe that once people cross over, that they either go into the light, I guess, or stay. But even if they go in, they still come back down and kind of help. So I don't know how it works exactly, obviously. I'm not past, but that's kind of how it feels. So definitely a new beginning, new start, and hopefully everything goes smoothly for you coming in December. But that's just this particular blessing. I'm going to clear these and we'll get your third blessing coming through. Welcome back again, pile 2. So this is your last blessing, or third blessing. I shouldn't say last because there's going to be many more in your lifetime. I will say, you know how I was talking about loss before? The song again changed to Don't You Worry, Child. And it's that song is Don't you worry, child. Heaven's got a plan for you, I think it is, or something like that. But anywho, that popped through and I was like, oh wow. If you have had a loss again, sorry for your loss. They are with you, for sure. They're kind of poking, whoever's coming through is poking on my head. So, you know, they're still there in memories as well. That's right, you had the memory, you literally had the memory card in both readings. Maybe I didn't touch on it. So they kind of want to say, this could be someone who's passed many, many years over because they know what they're doing. Or they're just, you know, a spirit that is old, so they just know what to do. But, you know, they're poking it into my head and talking about memories. You know, they're still there in your memories and thoughts, but they're also there. Like, they're also there, just not in physical body. But there's soul spirits there. So, really nice. Hopefully that is for you. If not, hey, it's still a nice, like, it's a nice message regardless. All right, so your third and blessing. I'll take these 3. Okay, so just so you know, I do shuffle them between the readings. Between the blessings. All right, so you have the horse spirit with motivation. Wow. Really pretty too. Look at this pretty horse with the little flowers. I like this coloring. Okay. You also have the bear spirit. Protection. Okay, motivation and protection. This is nice. This is being like, it's pretty much saying, hey, go forward with your plans because you are protected. This is giving you the literal motivation or the like reminder of the power within you. The power within you is the power within the universe. It literally says here, kindness echoes into the soul of the universe. So does you know, our love or our support or energy of creation and doing things and saying things. You know, all that stuff is powerful. All right, so you've got the Hermit. Motivation right next to the Hermit's interesting. The 4 of Cups. So interesting too. Like here, she's been offered so many things and she's not paying attention to anything. Look out for these blessings that come through. They're not going to be a physical sign sometimes, like a thing. They'll just be an idea, but they will also have like for some physicality because we live in the physical world. So it might be an idea that you can utilize to do something or create, or a reminder of like how happy this person, these souls supporting you, your spirit guides, etc. You've got the 10 of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Really beautiful cards coming right at the end. You always got like the last, for whatever reason, the last card on each pile that you got that I pulled was a court card. You know, it was the King of of Wands, King of Swords, and now the Queen of Pentacles. So different elements too, really nice. But this one does feel like you starting to appreciate and live life in a way that feels correct to you. How that looks is none of anyone else's business. It's none of my business. It's your business. So you know what? If she wants to sit all day in the flowers and just be, let her be. Like, let yourself be, right? If you want to rush around and do a lot of things with regards to businesses and things like that, then go do that. It's got to be your decision though. Okay, interesting blessing. 10 of Cups, obviously. Whoop whoop. This is success through challenge. This is finding what you need in life that's important to you. Again, what's important to you? Your 10 of Cups is going to be different to my 10 of Cups or to my cat's 10 of Cups, right? Or something like that. Different, probably people, not really talking about animals, but you know what I mean. All of that. The horses also, even though it talks about motivation, it's talking about freedom too. It's like motivating yourself towards getting what you want out of this life, but also what you want out of December. What does that look like? Take some time and give yourself the space to understand what that looks like. The Hermit card is really about understanding and then taking action, right? Going within, finding the answers, or sitting and waiting until the time's right, and then going forward. Not worrying. She's not worried. She's either contemplating it or just doing something else, because you don't want to be contemplating for like a month or something like that, or a week. You want to be doing other stuff too. So it's like a very smooth or purposeful contemplation period for you in this particular blessing, but it's working towards very clear goals that are right for you. That's like almost perfect for you, right? That kind of thing. And the Queen of Pentacles is also a giver, but also she has what she needs. That's why she gives. She has what she needs. She knows abundance will always flow into her life, regardless of what she does. So she's not hogging it or hoarding it and keeping it for herself. She's letting it flow because she knows more will keep coming through if she gives. That's how it works. That's how it's working for her anyway. In this reading, protection. Your guides are there. This does not feel like hibernation. It feels like protection, as in your guides supporting you. You're supported. You have a good foundation of who you are and what you've been through to get to here, right? So you've gone through many things. The protection is also believing in self. Protection isn't necessarily about putting up walls or boundaries or anything. Sometimes it can be. So if that's what is right for you, then go forward with that. But it's also about trusting yourself, believing that no matter what you do or what path you pick, you're picking the right path for you. It's all about you. And then that'll help you with this, open yourself to others. It's just being honest with yourself. Open yourself to you, being true to you helps you be true to others, right? Because you're not worried about what they think. Because you know what? It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you. Ever. I mean, it's nice when people are supportive, but that's not always going to be the case. Not everyone's going to be supportive of everyone. You could probably find someone who like does beautiful charity work and creates like schools or something like that for people or something, whatever, that kind of thing. You'll still find someone who will criticize it or be like, that's not good enough, or something like that. And if they worried about that, if those people worried about that, they wouldn't do what they do. Don't worry about the one person or even about everyone. If it's really about finding your 10 of Cups in this lifetime, and you're holding back because of either self-doubts or what other people might think, this is not the time to worry about other people's points of view. Is that the right way of saying it? Yeah, it's about thinking about what's right for you. That's it. Obviously with respect, right? And with love, I would say. What an interesting blessing. Really good. I feel like there's a huge amount of progress that will come through in December, but it's not because of you doing something specifically, it's because of what you've already done and who you are. This is kind of like an aspect of like preparing you for the new year, but also starting the new year as well. When you decide, we don't have to be told by a calendar when to start our new year, right? You decide. So interesting reading. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions down below, but that is your reading, pile number 2. Thank you so much for letting me read these beautiful blessings. And yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Okay, so you have chosen the Karma card with the message, value your choices, and also the orange calcite. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. Interesting card to come through too, with like this imagery. It just shows like so many different things, like blobs and like spots and lines and things like that, right? That really make up who we are. I feel like for whatever reason that just needs to be said. We'll have a look at what your first blessing is. But you know, we worry about certain things. Sometimes we don't worry about things, and then we worry about not worrying about those things. There's just so much stuff here that is like, and then we love this type of stuff, and then we learn to not like it, and then don't understand why we don't love these things or people, or whatever. It's just really interesting, and that's kind of like, it really just shows the variety of life that we live in, as in like the energies around us, the energies within us, the energies within other people as well. So no idea why that needed to come out, but there you go. There's something here that's feeling like a repeat with the karma, because you know, in depending on whatever you believe, but karma in an old sense is kind of like coming in to repay a debt. That's like a very old-fashioned kind of style of what karma means. I feel like it's slightly different, but the echo feels like coming back to a life and repeating a certain lesson, or even you have started to repeat an old lesson, let's say. I'm not too sure. We'll see what comes through though. Okay, these two are popping at the top. Okay. So let's take a look at your first blessing. You've got simplicity. Nice, because this looks complicated. So you've got simplicity. Nice, so I feel like you're going to get that. And wonders. I like this. I like wonders. Wonders feels like amplification. Like the crystal in the background feels like an amplification. If it's an amplification of simplicity, that feels like things will be smooth. Not just, you know, minimal, but also flow well. Okay, so you've got the Knight of Wands, interesting, right next to simplicity. You've also got the Devil, okay. You've got the Ten of Cups, nice. And you also have the Five of Cups. These are so interesting cards to come through. So what is your first blessing really saying? It's interesting if there is like a repeat, or if you are repeating a cycle. We all do this, right? We all go through stages where we have an opportunity to repeat it, whether it's like a relationship coming back up, whether it's an ex or seeing family again, right? The cycle could be literally, of course, we're coming into holiday season. It could be about recycling, or not really recycling, it doesn't sound good, but like, you know, having to go back to family and that kind of thing. And sometimes, depending on who you are, you might have reservations or something like that. Regardless, I feel like it'll go smoothly, but it's like, here is your amplification. This wonders is the amplification. Do you amplify this, or do you amplify this? And do you get caught into the old energy that, you know, I mean, I even find this when I go back to family. Sometimes I get caught up in energy that I've completely released, right? But we get not, I don't know, I want to say triggered, but we just fall back into old habits with certain people. And it's like, oh, this is not me. Why am I still buying into this. It's really funny because it's like, why did we do this? So yeah, you have opportunities. I mean, literally value your choices. You decide. This blessing is up to you. But look, it doesn't feel like it'll be too much of a drama or anything like that. The simplicity is just showing you, hey, this is going to be quite smooth. Also, this always makes me think of angel guides, so your guardian angel, that kind of thing coming through. I think certain things you'll be able to get through quite quickly. Now, whatever that is in regards to this blessing, it's like worrying about going to the to get Christmas presents or some kind of gift or anything like that next month, and then being like, oh, it's going to be terrible, but it just goes really smooth. Like literally everything just gets done. You're like, oh, so I worried for nothing. Okay, well that's fun. And then you have the path here to what you want to get in this particular blessing. What is that exactly? That kind of sounds a bit wishy-washy. I just want to feel into the 10 of Cups a bit better. I feel like it's really just saying you will get to the point of being able to sit down and just enjoy the holiday season. That's kind of how it feels. This one is kind of like not, it's like, again, to make wise choices. But the funny thing is, the reason why I'm kind of giggling about it is it's almost feeling like, oh, how much do I drink? How much do I indulge? You decide how much you indulge. This feels really good. It does feel like, even though it's the 5 of Cups, which is kind of like, whatever. But you can see here, there's like spilt drinks, and she's maybe drunk a couple of other drinks, and she's like, oh, like it's that hangover kind of feeling from the celebration of the 10 of Cups with family and friends and the people, or whoever, chosen family, chosen whatever, whoever is right in your life. So yeah, the blessing here is a really easy bypass to not get stuck into things, but also an amplification of everything running quite smoothly next month in regards to probably, I'm going to say in regards to like family, in regards to connections, wherever you're going. If you're not going to meet up with anybody as well, then hey, enjoy the literal simplicity of just doing things your way and being you. All right, that's really all I got from this particular one. So that's a nice blessing anyway. Amplification of things being easier or just things going through smoothly. But it's up to you. You don't want to amplify the hangover or amplify like getting caught up in drama, which I don't think is really going to happen. This feels like literally shopping, right? She's getting a whole bunch of stuff and getting herself into debt. So obviously try to avoid that as best you can. All right, so I'm going to clear these and then we'll get on to your second blessing. Okay, welcome back, pile 3. So this is your second blessing. I'm going to take these two. Wonky cards. We'll put that there. Great. And some tarot. No, actually, I'll put it up here. Just gonna put 3 tarot down. And I'm going to grab one of these cards for you. Okay. Grabbing 2. I'll put one here and one up here. Trying to avoid the glare, but yeah, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at your second blessing, pile 3. So you've got refuge. I feel like if you are just like the homebody or just do stuff for yourself, like during holiday season, everything's going to go pretty good. You also have grace. I was actually thinking of this. I was thinking of this section of the card. For some reason, when I was shuffling, I was like, this card's popping up, but I didn't know what it was called. This is the Wise Woman of the Grove with grace. And it's just got this like, it's almost like an ancestor guiding you to a particular item or thing. Um, Interesting. And you have the Spirit Guardian of Autumn with letting go. Okay. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. You have the Eight of Pentacles. So practical. And the Queen of Swords. Wow. Queen of Swords is about letting go, right? She lets go, but she also cuts the ties. Cuts those ties. Alright, so we'll have a look at these two. You've got reevaluate, which is the starlit sky will still look for falling stars. And sorry, in a starlit sky, we still look for fallen stars, which is interesting, or falling stars, because it just makes me think of why are we focusing on something in particular? Why are we focusing on this and not this? Like, and this and not that? So why are we focusing here and not here? And over here, it's like something's always going wrong, right? Or we're in like, it's pretty much what the card's saying. We're in like a sea of people, and all we can see is the people that aren't clapping at our performance or something like that, right? We do a show and we see all these people clapping, but we only focus on the two that aren't clapping, and that's what gets to us. So why are you focusing on the negative, or the thing that could happen, the negative thing that could happen amongst the sea of good things, a sea of blessings almost. So it's really interesting. Also, you have destiny. It's not in the stars, but in yourself. Yep. So look, this might be a blessing of being able to sort out some of the stuff that's within. The refuge is interesting now in that case. Again, I feel like this is self-work. It's an opportunity to find your blessings, or the heart of you, I guess. Is that the best way of saying it? Something like that. I feel like your ancestors or your spirit guides are going to guide you towards something in particular this month, with the Wise Woman of the Grove, with Grace. And it's going to be that thing that helps you overcome, release, get over, work through something. I know, very clear, but something. It might be worries or fears of not being able to do something. You're definitely capable. You're definitely capable. You have the good, you have good support, or good it's interesting because it's like it's either good support, or it's like you have strong skills, strong abilities, like you have all this, like, let's say all these degrees or like skills in something, but just because you have a skill in something doesn't mean you have the belief in yourself. And I think this is like overcoming that and getting back into like remembering you did all this, you got all these degrees to do this thing. Start trusting in yourself. Start believing in yourself. Start moving forward on that. Plan. This is practical, but also doing things that you're responsible for. So do your responsibilities and do the right thing, even if it is difficult. I will say, even if it is a challenge, and the negative things you could be focusing on, but there's also the benefit or the good thing of being able to help or do something for someone else or yourself. I'm being very vague because it's like, for some, I feel like it's wanting to kind of hibernate, and for some, it's worrying about helping because it's hard to do this. So it's like, it's almost like, and don't judge yourself or anything like this from what I'm going to say, because I'm not. But this is just an example. It's like going to visit a family member who's going through dementia, right? And it's real hard. And so we're focusing on the negative things here. Of like what they might forget us, they might do this, they might do that, but it's hard, of course, but it's like it's worth, because their soul is still there. Their mind and their body might be out of whack with their soul, but their soul is still pure and still there. I don't know why that needed to come through, but there you go. So the Queen of Swords is like, start thinking logically what's right and just doing what is right for you. Now, in that situation, whether it was like visiting a family member that has dementia, or chronic illness or something like that, or that's challenging, you still have the decision to go or not. It's up to you. No one's like, well, I mean, people might judge, but you don't have to take on that energy if you don't want to. You got to do what's right for you. The cards are kind of saying let go and go forward, because it's worth living. Like, life's worth living is really how it's coming through. They want me to say something about this. It says here, karma is unavoidable and it's everywhere. Learn to release it and be free. Yeah, okay, interesting with the letting go. So they wanted me to say that. This is definitely about reevaluating, giving yourself space and time. You've got the refuge with that that person, like that safe place to process, or that time, at least if it's like a challenging spot. But like you've got that time and space to do this. It's almost like it's time. Like it's time to start reclaiming parts of yourself from yourself, almost. Like if you're focusing a lot on your mind, like stress, anxiety, that kind of thing, it's starting to like let go of whatever those fears are. You know, easier said than done, right? With whatever help you need, or whoever that might be, professional or not, and starting to live for yourself in a sense. Okay, so it's interesting. I know it doesn't necessarily sound like a blessing, but it will in time. It's just like this is the start to start looking at whatever this may be for you. So it does feel like a good blessing. It's just giving you the space and time to start creating and being more in tune with who you are and not just going with emotions. There's a difference between like flowing and a difference between like just being like a almost like weathering a storm and just constantly just feeling like you're in a tsunami or like a storm or in a fog, and you just kind of weather whatever happens to you. It's almost like just stoic energy of just sitting there. You know how when tide comes and it hits like the wharf or something, it's like those poles just have to weather it, right? They don't have a choice, and that's kind of like getting out of that mindset because you're not a pole, you're a person. But anywho, I'll clear these and we'll get on to your third blessing. Hello, pile 3. So this is your third blessing. So this is the last one that I'll be doing a reading on. Obviously not the last one in life. You'll have many, many more. All right, so let's take a look at December. And what's the last blessing that I'll be doing a reading for today? Yeah, this one. I like this one too. There's like a few that want to come out. Yeah, you wanted to pop out too. All right. You're breaking the mold of like how I normally was reading this for the rest of the piles, which is good. I feel like this is the whole point of your blessed readings, let's say. Today, pile 3, it's like you're meant to start breaking the mold, or stepping out of like the expectations or something like that. It's really interesting. All right, so I'm going to take these two. Okay. So let's take a look at your cards for your third blessing. You've got perception. You've got balance with the water dragon. Sorry, this is giraffe. Water dragon, balance. You also have the goat with grounded. I like that. Grounded and perception. It's like, it's almost like as above as below. The most as above and below that animals can kind of show this balance of the, you know, being grounded is like seeing things in very close up, very specific, very like detailed. It's like the microcosm and the macrocosm or whatever. You know, it's like very that. And that's where the giraffe's coming through, is like seeing from a higher perspective, because they can obviously see more broadly around them to warn them of any dangers or anything like that, right? Got the 6 of Swords, definitely some travel. 6 of Cups. And 5 of Cups again coming through. Interesting. This does feel like a nice blessing of balance for sure during the month. You decide what that looks like and how that is for you. It's not for me to say or anyone else to say necessarily. It's how you want this to be. It's interesting. I will say from, you know, the goat, instead of specifically like from down in the details and the overview picture, grounding is also really important. It helps you connect with yourself and get out of your head, get out of your certain aspects of body, or where your mind's gone off to, it's like a certain part of you, an aspect of you is still fighting with this person, or this aspect of you is still like feeling something from the past, especially with the Six of Cups, these two sixes. The Six of Cups is like the reflection, the old memories, that kind of thing. But I do feel like you have an opportunity, obviously, to catch up with family and the people that have good and maybe sometimes challenging memories, right, of. But it's like seeing things in a different perspective, making sure that when you go into these situations, if you do, that you're grounded, that you're connected to yourself, whether it's releasing through thoughts or whether it's actually releasing through like moving on, starting to just decide that there's no point in me being in this energy anymore. I'm going to move on from it. He's literally still carrying his bags though, right? So there's still baggage, but everyone's got baggage, right? Everyone's got stuff that they hold on to from the past. But if you get out of the place or the mindset where all the baggage is, then at least you're only taking the stuff that you know still need to work on or still want to like carry. It's up to you, obviously, but better than being in a whole house of like hoarded past memories. So it's really interesting. I know this is supposed to be like a blessing. It does feel like a blessing because it's like this moving energy. It's starting to feel more connected with earth and yourself. I love that the water dragon's coming through because, you know, they're on land and they can swim pretty rapidly in the water. That we have these here in Australia. So very, very cool. But that energy of like kind of like temperance, right? 1 foot on land, 1 in the water. The blend of 2 kind of energies, that kind of thing is coming through as well. 5 of Cups is interesting to kind of finish at the end. It doesn't feel toxic or anything. It just feels like a lot of processing. So take care of yourself as well. Look after your energy. You don't have to keep working on things, but you also don't have to keep holding on to things. It's finding that right balance. Again, that's for you. Again, value your choices. You decide what this looks like and how this comes through for December. Everything here has been all your choice. You chose karma. This is like, you know, a lot of the old being re-looked at, reevaluated, released, gotten over, processed, worked on, whatever you want to call it. There's a whole lot of stuff here, and this just feels like, you know, getting out of that situation mentally, emotionally, or actually a physical situation that is no longer serving. So that's going to happen. That's going to come through. And I feel like that's actually self-care here with she's tending to the little pots. It's like some old memories or some old, some like small things, like just getting to those little things by actually seeing it from a greater perspective. So it's interesting that it's worded like that, but that's exactly how it feels. And then at least, you know, you don't get stuck in the 5 of Cups of feeling a lack of support or a lack of like something. There's something here. It's like a lack of something. And you move on to the next one, which is literally the 6 of Cups, right? So you might be like going backwards and forwards with this. And I don't think that's such a bad idea always, because we're releasing, we're moving on from, we're taking care of, we're not just sitting in our own kind of set ways or however our mind's sitting. So it's a good blessing. I know it doesn't sound necessarily, I'm sorry if it didn't, but it really does feel like a good blessing of starting to move on from certain things, starting to balance, starting to find your equilibrium that has patience and movement. That's up to you how you move through this. So everything, I feel like I usually say everything's up to everyone anyway, but for you, Pile 3, it is all about your decisions. If you want to make things more complicated, you can do that. If you want to make things more easier, you can do that. If you want to hold on to things, you can do that. If you want to release things, you can do that. It's really your choice what you want to process in this new coming year, but also next month. So it's giving you like I guess a glimpse at like the possibilities of what's the purpose of holding on to this, what's the benefit, what's the like, how's it hurting you, how's it helping you, all that kind of stuff. It's all about what you want. So I feel like you're definitely going to get to this stage probably at the end of the month and being like, okay, well, how do I want to, I guess you could do like the whole New Year's resolution thing. What I want to really see myself as, what kind of things do I hold on to that I want to release, and what I want to work on, that kind of thing. However you do that, it's up to you. Again, your choice. So really interesting one. Hopefully that makes sense. It was kind of an interesting one to end on, but that's exactly what I feel with these cards. So I'm going to pull actually one more of these just to like get a clarification on this blessing. Yeah, self-care. Spoil yourself in the moonlight. Spoil yourself in the moonlight. Yeah, this is all self-care. This whole thing is self-care. It's like tending to the needs of what you need, processing the stuff that is still heavy, potentially, moving on from the old, finding your equilibrium and your balance, and connecting yourself with you. Connecting with you. So yeah, that's where this is coming in. But also, just on a side note, enjoy whatever else you're going to do. If you're going to go eat junk food, go enjoy that junk food. If you're going to have wine, alcohol, whatever, enjoy it. Enjoy whatever you're doing this coming December, because that's important as well. So anyway, that's what I want to leave it in. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Feel free to leave any comments. Otherwise, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading.